Okay. In this video, I'll be showing how to set up an MQTT broker using the Mosquito server, as well as subscribing and publishing to that server. And then we'll be setting up a username and password as well as a TLS connection on this MQTT server. So yeah, we'll get started. So first I'm going to open up a terminal, and I'll make the text large so that we can see this more easily. And I'm going to SSH into my the server I've set up. So I'm going to do my MQTT server.ddns.net. Okay, so now that I'm SSH into the server, we can install the Mosquito server. So to do that, we can use sudo apt install Mosquito, which is just the insect with 2 T's, and that'll install the Mosquito server. And then we're going to also install Mosquito clients, which is a just gives us some tools that we can use to publish and subscribe to the Mosquito server. And we can hit enter. It will ask us for the password, and that will install. So now that this is now that it's done installing, I'm going to clear the terminal, and we should be able to see pretty immediately that the MQTT server, Mosquito server, our broker is already running. So we can check this with sudo systemctl status Mosquito, and here we can see that there's a Mosquito, the Mosquito service is running, and right here Mosquito started Mosquito MQTT broker. Okay, so we can try to we can try to now publish and subscribe to this server, to this broker. So I'm going to just open up another terminal here, put some large text, and I'm going to SSH into this just because I'm going to do this locally for this demo. Okay, so the way we can do this is we can use this is from the Mosquito clients tools that we installed. So I'm going to do Mosquito _sub, and then the host, which in this case is localhost, and then the topic, which is -t, and we'll just call this one test topic. So now it's listening on that topic. This is subscribed to that topic, and on this side we'll publish something to that topic. So I'm going to use Mosquito pub, the same host, localhost, because I'm SSH into that same machine. The topic will be test, and then we can send a message on there. I'll do howdy, and you can see that howdy has showed up here. So our MQTT broker is working. You could now just use this as is. The only command that we really needed was the apt install of the Mosquito server. But I'd like to include some security and stuff. Now, I'm not going to use this tool, the Mosquito clients tool, in this video that much because most people don't like typing in the terminal that much. Instead, I'll be using a tool called MQTT FX, which is a Java app that is it's a graphical interface that allows you to publish and subscribe on an MQTT server. So right here I have set up, I can reset this, so let's just delete that, and we can hit plus, a new profile. So let's just name this my MQTT server. The broker address will be my MQTT server.ddns.net, and then that's all I should need right now. The client ID will automatically generate, so I'm going to hit apply, and then we can close this, and we can select that one and hit connect. And after it'll take a moment to connect, we can see that there's this green light here and a unlocked lock icon, and that just means that the green lights, that means that we're connected. The unlocked lock means that we don't have an encrypted connection to the server. So I can do the same thing here. You can see these are some tabs that this has, and I'm going to publish to the test topic, howdy again, and hit publish, and you can see that showed up there. I can also subscribe, so I'll type in just test, and now we're subscribed, so I can hit howdy again, and you can see that this packet has showed up, and the contents of that packet are howdy again. This is the tool we'll be using instead of the MQTT or Mosquito pub and Mosquito subscribe, because it's a little easier to look at. Okay, so I'm going to close that for now. The next thing we'll do is set up a username and password. So I'm going to close this and clear this. So what we'll have to do is, first there's a Mosquito tool for this. So if you type in sudo Mosquito password, but it's PASSWD, as you can see, -C and then /etc/mosquito/ and we'll just do password like that, and then we'll give a username. In my case, I'll use my name and we can hit enter. So now it's going to ask us for a password. This will be the password we're going to use to log into this server. I'm going to make my password my very insecure password. I'll do MQTT server and enter. MQTT server. Okay, so now that that's been set, we should be able to see that if I cat /etc/mosquito this file, there's a file here, and it has a username and a password that's been hashed, and so that we can't see what it is. But this is our username and this is our password. This is that file. So now we also have to modify our config. So if we type in nano, we'll have to run this with sudo. So let's do sudo nano /etc mosquito /conf.d, and then default .conf. We can hit enter. This file does not already exist, so in this case it's being created for the first time. We're going to put some text in here. We're going to do allow anonymous, and that'll be false, and there's a typo and two typos. And then also we'll put the path to our password file, and that in this case is /etc/mosquito, the file we just catted. Password. Okay, so that's all. I can hit Control X, Y, enter. I'm using nano because this is what most people should be familiar with. And now we can just do sudo. We'll have to restart the Mosquito server. So we'll do sudo systemctl restart Mosquito. And that'll restart the server, which should take a moment. There we go. So now we can just do sudo, and we'll check the status of our server. Sudo systemctl status mosquito. You can see that it's running. It loaded up our config file and started the MQTT broker. So if we come back here, you can see our broker connections lost resetting client. If we hit connect, it should be unable to connect to the server because our server now requires credentials to log in. As you can see here, it says not authorized to connect. So if we hit the settings icon, we can come over to the user credentials and we can use the login and password we just created. So there, I'll put in my username, and then here we'll do my password, which was MQTT server. And then we can close this and hit connect. And now you can see that we're again connected to our MQTT server. So what I can do is we can subscribe here. We'll just do test again, and we'll publish. And you can see I clicked 3 times, and so now we have 3 publishes. So now we have our username and password is now required to publish and subscribe to this server. So and I guess so in here we can see allow anonymous false means that you have to log into the server to publish. And then here we were just telling it where the login credentials for this server are stored. But this line here is what makes sure that you have credentials to use this server. Next we're going to set up TLS. So what that allows is that what this means is that our communications between myself and my server will be encrypted, which means stuff won't be in plain text. So the way we can do this is we can sudo apt install certbot, and certbot is a project run by the EFF that allows you to get signed certificates for free, publicly signed certificates. And I'm going to just hit enter, and I already had this installed, but for you it'll go through whatever steps it needs for installing, which is pretty straightforward. And then I'll open port 80 on my server. So we can just do sudo ufw allow 80. I also already had these rules set. So next we can do, we're gonna have to generate these certificates. And the way we can do that is with the command sudo certbot. We're gonna get cert only. Hopefully there won't be too many typos. Standalone. Preferred challenge, which is you can look up what these arguments mean in the certbot documentation. This is basically just telling it how we want to obtain our certificate and the type of certificate we want to obtain, that we want to get. And we're going to do this over HTTP. That's the preferred challenge is going to be over HTTP, and that'll be the reason we opened port 80, which is the default port for HTTP. And then we're going to tell it the domain is going to be my MQTT server.ddns.net. And when we hit enter on that, they will want, what have I've typed something. Oh, I've done standalone, so let's just fix that and also clear the terminal. Okay, so now it's creating our certificate, and you can see that it has successfully created that certificate. So now that that's done, we need to edit a configuration file. We can do sudo nano /etc/mosquito there we go. And then we're going to do conf and the default. So we're going to come back here and we're going to add a few lines. So first we're going to put on here a listener. Okay, if I can type that right. There we go. Listener, port 1883, localhost, because that is the port that our server is currently running on. 1833 or 1883 is the normal unencrypted port for MQTT. It's just the same way we have port 80 is HTTP and port 443 is HTTPS. For MQTT, 1883 is for unencrypted, and then 8883 is an encrypted port. So now that we have that, we can also put a listener for port 8883, and now here we have to tell it where our certificate files are. So we're going to do cert file /etc /let's encrypt /live /mqtt server .ddns.net /cert.pem. And I'll stop right here I'll come back in this file, but I'll just close that and save it, and we'll just actually go look at what is in this. So Let's Encrypt is part of the cert project, and if I head into our folder, which is, it creates a folder based on our domain name. So in this case, it'll be mymqttserver.ddns.net. Oh, and you'll have to be root, so we'll just sudo on here, and we can see this file. Inside this folder, we have these files: the private key, full chain, and certificate. And this is what we're adding our paths for. So we can head back into here, and so this was our certificate file. We're going to do CA file. This is also, I'm just going to paste this in here and then change the last one to chain.pem, and then I'll do key file / just paste that again, and this is our private key. Hopefully that's all spelled correctly. That's cert file. Okay, and oh, it looks like I have. Let's fix that. Okay, so now we can save this and close it and clear that, and now we can restart our MQTT service. So that's sudo systemctl restart mosquito. Okay, and then we'll check the status, and we can see that it is running. So we'll open up our MQTT-FX again, and we can head over to the settings here, and then we can go to SSL/TLS, enable that, and then click this CA signed certificate, hit apply, and we can close this, and then we can hit connect. And it might not have. Oh, and also we'll have to modify this port to port 8883. That should be it. So now if I hit connect, okay, you can see that now we are connected and we have a secure connection. Hence the lock is now a locked lock. So once again, we can subscribe to just do test, and we'll publish to test. Howdy, since that's shorter to write than hello world, and we can see that our howdy has popped up here. So now we have a fully encrypted MQTT broker that requires a username and password to log in. I think I'll do some other videos as well. This video is probably long enough as is, but in the next videos I'll probably do MQTT bridging, which will require me to set up a second MQTT server that I will bridge. I'll talk about what bridging is in that video. I'll bridge to this server, and then I'll probably do some other videos involving using the MQTT server with Node-RED, publishing and subscribing with probably Python or some embedded devices like an ESP8266 or the ESP32s. And then also it'd be nice for us to be able to publish and subscribe. Or in this case, we'll only be able to publish with an Alexa device. Other than that, for this video, I think this is everything I intended to cover. So with that, that'll be it. Bye-bye.